So now I'm going to take a look at the current economic conditions. Now this submission is 7 pages, and I'm just going to take this one page at a time and just give you a little bit of what I see here. I like the center-aligned, bold, and underlined title. Now the first couple of sentences have some grammar errors, and it's just minor, but it's something that we can work on. The current economic conditions are favorable for sales. It's a good start. A 30-year mortgage rate is higher than last year when the business was created and currently stands at 4.1%. Now, I would reword and reformat the sentence just to talk about what it was at last year and what it stands at this year. But understand that a higher interest rate is actually not good for borrowing, because the more interest you have to pay to the bank, obviously the less likely you will be to borrow money, and the more difficult it will be for you to pay back. So your payment will be higher, which will actually lessen the amount of money you can borrow. The prime rate is the same as last year at a constant rate of 3.25%. Here I would say the prime rate has remained constant at 3.25% over the past 12 months. For your understanding, and what the reader wants to see when you talk about these, is that a 30-year mortgage rate is like a long-term lending rate, and that applies more toward real estate. And I know the rubric asks for long-term and short-term rates, but this is just something that's a little bit less associated with what we do. The prime rate remaining constant at 3.25%, however, that's more like a short-term borrowing rate, and a lot of your credit is based off of the short-term rates, not specifically the prime rate, but when short-term rates are low, it obviously means that people are more willing to borrow. Okay, so that's what's good. With these rates, it means we have a larger customer base with a considerable amount of discretionary income. Now, that could be true if you say with these rates, it means that customers are more willing to borrow in order to finance larger parties that we might offer. Someone is more willing to put, a $2,000 party on their credit card if the interest rate is extremely low than if the interest rate goes up. So when your short-term rates are low, like they are at 3.25 here, that obviously means that your customers are more willing to borrow short-term and put money on credit cards. When unemployment drops almost 1%, that's something that shows that our customer base is going to increase because more people have jobs, therefore more people are able to buy our products. So that was a good statement there. With current exchange rates being mildly confusing and slightly unbalanced, I'm sure you got that from a source that you've cited in the bottom, and that was good. International sales will be less profitable than domestic sales, not native sales. And in the real world, or in the real market, competitors like Wrigley's, Hershey's, and Mars, and many others will be hard to top, but with our customized candies, we should have no problem in our second year of business. Now here's where I would be a little bit more specific. Competitors like Wrigley's, Hershey's, and Mars have name recognition and have been around for a while, but because we offer customized candies, we should be able to target a specific customer base that wants a specific product. That's how I would word that. On the virtual side, economic conditions are greatly in our favor. I would move the word greatly and put it in here. Technically, in the past, students received $10,000 at the trade fair. This year, as I said in class, students are going to receive $15,000 at the annual Tennessee Trade Fair. I would get rid of the word show. We will have a great opportunity to hit our goal of $70,000 in sales. With an in-class sales team that will work together to contact local businesses and promote contracts, bundles, and customized candy, we will also see a large amount of sales from outside the trade fair. Finally, with possible upcoming businesses that may take away from our sales, we plan to provide new bundles, products, and strategies to generate the most revenue. Okay, this is something that I would address by saying, although new businesses may enter the market, we plan to use our established name and customer service or customer satisfaction track record to continue to generate strong revenue. Our commercials that we put out will also help potential customers know who we are and to buy from us. This is an advantage that we have over newer companies that don't have these sort of resources. So again, you're taking the goal of the business plan, which is to receive $30,000 of an investment to increase your marketing and your advertising, and you're showing the benefit in how we can actually address any sort of risks that the business might run into in the year. So mostly good, and there are just a few things that you can change on this. All right, thanks.